If you want to become a data analyst, one thing you must understand clearly is this: data analytics is not just about charts or dashboard. It starts with how you handle the data at the back end. So before the Power BI, before Excel, dashboards, before machine learning, there is a Python. And inside Python, there is NumPy. So in this video, I am going to teach you NumPy from absolute scratch in very simple language, step by step, like a real data analyst uses it in real projects. So hi everyone, welcome back to Prem Analytics Hub. My name is Prem and on this channel we will learn data analytics, Python, Power BI, Tableau and everything that helps you grow as a data professional. So if you are a student, a fresher or someone switching to data analytics, this video is for you. Now let me tell you something very honestly. As a data analyst, your job is not just to visualize the data. Your main job is to clean, understand the data and process the data and find the insight from the raw data. And most real world data is large, messy and numeric. For example, sales numbers, revenue, profit, marks and many more. So handling this kind of data using normal Python list becomes slow and painful. That's exactly where NumPy comes into the picture. So in next slide, we'll learn what is NumPy. So NumPy basically stands for numerical Python, or we can say in very simple words, NumPy is a Python library that helps us work with numbers very fast. So basically, it gives us a powerful data structure as well that we call an array. So which is much faster and more efficient than a normal Python list. Then in next slide, we'll see why do we need the NumPy things. So as a data analyst, you will use the NumPy when when we want the fast calculation, when we want the clean and numeric data, when we want to prepare data for machine learning, or when we want backend processing before the visualization. So in fact, the pandas also, or the basically pandas is also a Python library. So pandas itself is built on top of the NumPy. So if you understand the NumPy well, pandas automatically becomes easier. So in next slide, we'll see installing and importing the NumPy things. So first we need to install the NumPy. If you are using the Jupyter Notebook, VS Code or any Python environment like Google Colab or anything, so you can install it using the pip command. After the installation, we import NumPy like this, import NumPy or import NumPy as NP. Here I have mentioned over here the as NP, it means like simple the alias name over the NumPy thing. So instead of the NumPy dot, we'll simply use the NP dot. So in next slide, we'll learn what is the NumPy array. So the most important concept is the NumPy array over here. So a NumPy array is a collection of elements of the same data type, same as the array. So stored in a very optimized way as well. So think of it like an Excel column, but much faster and the smarter way. So for example, if I have sales value like 10, 20, 30 and 40, I can store them inside a NumPy array. So that actually the NumPy array is. In the next slide, we'll see the NumPy array versus the Python list over here. So now you might ask why not just using a Python list over array, NumPy array. So that's actually a good question. So over here we can see the NumPy array and Python list explanation over here. As I told you earlier as well, NumPy array is very fast fixed type numeric container, a container, and the Python list is flexible. The mixed type container, a container is there. So NumPy array basically use the less memory and perform calculation faster and allow the vectorized operation as well. That's why in analytics and machine learning, NumPy is always preferred. Okay. So over here, I have mentioned some of the feature and the Python list and the NumPy things over here, NumPy array over here. In feature, you can see the speed thing. Python list is very slow and the NumPy array is very fast. Memory basis, I told you the Python list is taking the more memory compared to the NumPy array. Math operation as well, mathematical operation as well. In the Python list, we need to do the looping like for loop, while loop and all. But in NumPy, we can do the direct. We will see in the next slide. And the analytics in Python list we can't do, but in NumPy we can. So in next slide, we'll see the creating the arrays, how we will create the array. So earlier slide we have already seen install after installing the NumPy things, we'll just import the NumPy things over there. Import NumPy as NP. So if we will write like that, key np dot array, so will change list into the array. So the most basic way is using the np dot array over here, same as the zeros zeros as well, np dot zeros. So it creates an array filled with the 0 0. Same for the ones, create an array filled with the ones, np dot arange, and that basically the range and spacing concept over here. So np.arange what actually do, so works like Python range, but it gives us in NumPy array over here. So same as the np.line space as well. So creates equally spaced numbers using in graphs and ML. We are basically will use in the graphs and ML as well. So this function is very commonly used in graphs, statics, and ML. So that's how we will create the array. Whenever we'll see in the upcoming video, whenever we'll do the practical, so at that time we can see clear difference between these all. So in the next slide, we'll see the array properties over here. So before analyzing any data, a good data analyst always check the structure of the data. So NumPy provides us with properties like dimension, shape, size, and the data type. So using these properties, we can understand how our data looks internally. So array, what actually array dot endim will do, I have already explained everything over here. You can go through that. So array dot endim will do the show how many dimension the array has. In the array dot shape shows the structure as rows or column. Let's say as an example I have given over here. So array dot shape will give over here 3 comma 3, 3 comma 3, right? So in the array dot size, so total number of elements in the array, same as the array dot d type shows the data type stored in the array, like in the int, float, and all. In the next slide, we'll learn the indexing and slicing. So indexing means accessing a specific element. Okay. Slicing means accessing a range of the element. So that's basically the explanation of indexing and slicing is. So this is extremely useful when filtering the data or selecting a specific columns. So in two-dimensional data, indexing helps us access rows and column very easily. So in the next slide, we'll see the reshaping, how we will do the reshaping of the data. So in real projects, data rarely comes in the perfect shape. So that's why NumPy provides the reshape and flatten function. So what basically the reshape function do, it will change the structure of data without changing the values. And what basically the flatten will do, it will convert multi-dimensional data into a single dimension. So that's how the reshaping of the data will work. In the next slide, we'll see some of the mathematical operation. Here we don't need to do any looping over here. So now this is why NumPy really shines. So you can add, subtract, multiply or divide array directly over here without writing any loops. But in Python list we have to apply the looping concept over there. So NumPy automatically applies the operation to every element over here. This saves the time and makes code very clean. In the next thing, we can next slide we can see some of the statistical function over here. So as a data analyst, a statistic is your best friend. So NumPy provides built-in function like mean, median, standard deviation, sum, min and max. So using these functions, we can quickly understand the behavior of the data. So by the mean, we can find the average. By the median, we can find out the middle value. Same as the sum, mean, max, standard deviation, everything. In the next slide, we'll see the axis concept over here. So basically, the axis is one of the most confusing topics for the beginners actually. But think of it is like axis decide the direction of the calculation. So axis 0 means the column wise and axis 1 means the row wise. So once you understand this thing, so half of NumPy becomes very easy. So in the note I have mentioned over here, the axis decide the direction of calculation. That is basically the definition of the axis concept as well. In the next slide, we'll see the Boolean indexing over here. So the real analytics is all about the filtering the data. So NumPy allows us to filter data using the conditions. So like an example, we can easily select values greater than a certain number or less than a certain number. This concept is heavily used later in the pandas concept. So whenever we learn the pandas library, we'll use these things as well. Now coming to the next slide, handling the missing values in NumPy. So in real world data, missing values are very common. So in NumPy, represents the missing values using an NaN, means not available number. So using NumPy functions, we can detect, ignore or replace these missing values very easily, as you can see in example. And in explanation, I have also mentioned real world data is messy. NumPy helps handle the missing values. So you guys can go through this slide and you can get everything. So in the sorting and searching slide, we can easily see over here the sorting and searching in NumPy is also very easy. So as I mentioned over here, np.sort array, so it will sort the array in the ascending order. Then np.where, we can again apply the condition over here, array greater than equal to greater than 50. So like this we can sort and search the result in an array as well in a very simple way. So in this video we learned NumPy from scratch, from what it is to how data analysts use it in the real life. So in the next video we'll try to complete the pandas thing first. After that we'll see the practical of the NumPy and pandas. So if this video helped you, like, share and subscribe to Premanalytics Hub. See you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Have a good night.